系乘务员。
Please contact flight attendants when you need help.
女士们、先生们，感谢您的关注，祝您旅途愉快。
Welcome aboard to the Streetwise English Podcast. Welcome aboard to the Streetwise English Podcast Airplane Special Edition. So today we are on an airplane. We are on board in an airplane. And to get to this point, to get to the flight, you have already gone through several stages of security and different procedures. So first, when you come to the airport, you will find the airline's counter. And at that counter, you will check in. So you will register at the counter and they will ask to see your identification or your passport. So you show some kind of identification. That might be a driver's license. And if you're an international travel, that will be your passport. So once you do that, you will check in your luggage, and then you will get your boarding pass. So the boarding pass is the little piece of paper that has your flight number, the gate, the departing gate, and your name on it. And so once you've got all that, you go to security. And once in security, they will check your carry-on items to make sure that you don't have weapons or liquids or certain items that are not allowed. So after we've gone through all of that, we've checked in, we've gone through security, and now we are on the plane, finally on the plane. So now we can begin. So usually you will be seated in one of three seats. And I'm assuming that you're not in first class. So if you're in first class, which is behind the curtain, you have big seats where you can lounge and lean back and are very comfortable. But most of us tend to book economy seats. So what you see here, these are typical economy seats, and there are 2 rows here. You'll see on this side over here, you have 3 seats on this side and 3 seats on that side. So if you go in here by the window, this is a window seat. Window seat. Okay. And some people like the window seat because you can look out of the window and see the clouds and see what's going on outside. And then you have the second best option, or maybe it's your first option, maybe you like it better, is the aisle seat. So why do some people prefer aisle seats to window seats? Well, because there's no one blocking you. You can easily get up and go to the restroom, right? Or you can get up and stretch your legs. Some people like to sleep on the plane and lean their head against the window. That's another reason why the window seat is preferred by some people. But for me personally, I like the aisle seat because I can get up and walk around or go to the restroom when I need to. And the worst seat of them all is this middle seat. So the middle seat, I guess that's what you call it, the middle seat, M-I-D-D-L-E, is right here in the middle. And the problem with that seat is that you have people on each side of you and you cannot easily get up to go to the toilet and you can't really see out of the window necessarily because there's a person there, and maybe you have an elbow on the armrest from both directions. So I don't like to sit in the middle seat. I prefer an aisle seat when I fly. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some words that you might hear on the flight from the airline workers. So this is a airline stewardess, or a flight attendant is a better word, right? Because that's not male or female. She is a flight attendant, and this guy is also a flight attendant. All right, so this is the vocab for this is a flight attendant. Flight attendant. Okay, so in Chinese that's like 空姐 or 空男, I guess, for a guy. So that's the flight attendant. And what will the flight attendant say to you? First of all, when you get on the plane, the flight attendant will say, they will go over safety procedures and teach you how to fasten a seatbelt. A seatbelt. Safety belt. So do you, I'm sure that you don't really pay attention to them. I don't pay attention because I've heard it a million times. But they will go over how to fasten your safety belt or seat belt, and then tell you what to do in case of an emergency. So the oxygen face mask will come down, and then you put that on yourself, blah, blah, blah. Now, the important things that you need to understand is when the flight attendant talks to you individually, what is the flight attendant going to say? Well, flight attendant will usually start off by asking you what you'd like to drink. So when you get on a plane, they don't offer that many food and beverages anymore, food and drinks, but they will ask you if you would like coffee, tea, or a soda. So she might say, what would you like to drink today? What would you like to drink today? And you'll say, do you have hot tea? And she might have hot tea. Or she might say, would you like a soda? Would you like a soda? So maybe you like a Coke or a Pepsi or a Sprite or a 7-Up. And she might say, do you want ice in your cup? So if you want a soda, she's probably going to put ice in it because Americans drink everything cold. So if you don't want ice in your soda or your juice, be sure to ask her, no ice, please. Okay, now what other things might she ask you? She might ask you which choice of meal you would like to eat. So, for example, she might say, would you like the pork fried rice or the chicken noodles? Would you like the pork fried rice or the chicken noodles? And you choose one or the two. You'd say, chicken noodles, please. Or in my case, I would say, I'm sorry, I'm vegetarian. Do you have any extra vegetarian plates? Do you have any extra vegetarian plates? And she will usually say, I'm sorry, sir. You need to reserve special meals in advance. You need to reserve special meals in advance. And I usually say, I'm sorry, I didn't do that. Can you double check for me? Can you check for me to see if there are any extra vegetarian meals? And then she'll say, sure. Wait just a moment. Let me go and check. And then the flight attendant will walk in the back and talk to her colleagues, check check with them to see if there are any extra vegetarian meals. And maybe it's not vegetarian. Maybe you want kosher meal, or you want some other kind of meal. You can ask for that. Okay, and then let's see. I'll just go ahead and tell you some of the names of the items, of the locations on the plane. So here you have the overhead, overhead, compartments, overhead compartment. And that is where you put your carry-on items, right? Your carry-on items. Carry-on items are the items that you don't check in. Carry on, or you put your carry-ons. So you can just make that into a noun. You put your carry-ons up there inside the overhead compartment. And you put your personal item underneath the seat. Okay? So, what else is important here? In the back of the plane, you have, of course, the toilet or the restrooms, which are very small. And here it's labeled toilet. Sometimes the toilet is labeled, in other countries, it might be labeled WC, toilet, restroom, all those good words. These are all important words. And here you have occupied. So there's usually a red button for occupied. And if it's not occupied, if it's available, there'll be green. So it's usually like a stoplight, you can either go or stop. So if it's red and it says occupied, there's somebody in the restroom. And let's see. Hello, sir. How are you doing? I'm fine. Okay, so why don't we practice talking to somebody next to you? Let's say that you have a guy sitting next to you on the plane. Let's say that this is now not a flight attendant, but he's just another passenger. So really quickly, let's do some small talk. Hey, how's it going? I'm good, thanks. Where are you from? And he might say, I'm from Brazil. Oh yeah? I've always wanted to go to Brazil. What city in Brazil? I'm from Rio de Janeiro. Oh, he's from Rio, okay, cool. And then he'll say to me, where are you from? So, oh, I'm from the US. I'm originally from California, but now I live in Las Vegas. So that's a good pattern. You can hear that pattern. I'm originally from, but now I live in. I'm originally from California, but now I live in Las Vegas. Okay. And then I can ask him, oh, so you're from Rio, but where do you live now? Where do you live now? Oh, now he'll say, I'm originally from Rio, but now I live in Los Angeles. I'm originally from Rio, but now I live in LA. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you. What do you do? What do you do for work? I'm a physics teacher at the University of California. I'm a physics teacher at the University of California. Oh, that's very interesting. And what about you? I am a Chinese teacher at the elementary school. I'm a Chinese teacher at the elementary school in Las Vegas. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, well, nice talking to you, man. I'm gonna sleep a little bit because we've got a long flight. So let's talk more at the end of the flight. Okay. Yeah, I'm tired too. I'm gonna take a rest. Nice meeting you, buddy. You too. Cheers. Okay. Let's take a nap. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. I just wanted to do a quick little scene here on the airplane. I hope that you enjoy that and you got some useful vocabulary words out of that. Nothing too complicated, but I wanted to do a simple on the plane class. I hope you enjoyed that. My name's Carl of the Streetwise English Podcast. I make podcasts for you to learn English and improve your listening and speaking abilities. And I also teach one-on-one English classes online. So look me up. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.